Hello to the Shins. Good afternoon once again, and this is again your learning partner, Teacher Anna. Now let's have our next lesson. So we are now in lesson number 6, and this is elasticity of supply and demand. So this is prepared by yours truly, Teacher Anna. So at the end of the lesson, or so today class, you are going to, or you are expected to learn the following. So first, define elasticity. Second, identify the different kinds of elasticity and explain and cite examples of different types of elasticity. Okay, so let's try to know more about elasticity, different kinds of elasticity, and examples of different types of elasticity. Now let's go to the next slide. So, what comes in your mind when you hear the word elasticity? So, look at here. So, this is the percentage, or this is the formula for getting the price elasticity of demand. So, ano pala yung elasticity class? So, elasticity is a measure of the responsiveness of one variable, usually quantity demanded or supplied, to a change in another variable. Okay? So, measure ito siya ng responsiveness of one variable. So, ang isang variable, usually quantity demanded or supplied. And then to a change in another variable. So just like this, our next variable is price. So most commonly used elasticity is price elasticity of demand. So this is the example, or this is the formula for getting the price elasticity of demand. And then you are also, or you can also get the price elasticity of supply by getting also the percentage change in quantity supplied. Okay? So, dito natin malalaman yung responsiveness ng isang variable. So, ito si percentage change in quantity demanded versus the percentage change in price, or divided by the percentage change in price. So, ano pala ang price elasticity of demand? So, let's try to know paano ba pala natin to kunin si price elasticity of demand. So, let's go to the next one. So dito guys, when you say price elasticity of demand, it means our demand is said to be first elastic when elasticity of demand is greater than 1. So meaning guys, kung ang answer ato percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. So meaning kung more than siya og 1 class, it means the price is elastic. Okay? Price is elastic. And then unit is elastic, or unit elastic when elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Okay, ED here stands for elasticity of demand. So, unit elastic when elasticity of demand is equal to 1. And then the last one, it is inelastic when we have elasticity of demand is lower. Okay, lower than 1. Okay, or what we call lesser than 1. That is what we call price elasticity of demand. So I hope you understand this one. If our answer is greater than 1, what do you think is it? So it's elastic. When it is equal to 1, what do you think is it? So it means it's unit elastic. So when it is lesser than 1, what do you think is it again? Very good. So it is inelastic. Now, let's move forward to the next one. So let's try to know about perfectly elastic demand. So ano pala yung unsay dagway sa perfectly elastic demand? So ito yung graph ng perfectly elastic demand. So meaning straight lang siya. Okay? Straight lang siya dire. So it means with the same price, the quantity demanded is also the same. Okay, with the same price, the quantity demanded is also the same. That is what we call perfectly elastic demand. Now, let's move forward to the next one. So, let's have Let's have the next slide. So let's try to know about perfectly inelastic demand. So ano pala yung perfectly inelastic demand? So kanina si price is stable. So kung yun lang yung price, yung demand natin is still the same and then there is a tendency to grow. Okay? Mudaghan pa ang demand kung the same lang ang price na siya tendency in ana. That is perfectly elastic demand kanina. Ngayon, we have perfectly inelastic demand. So ano pala ito? So as you can see here in our graph, it is just or the quantity demanded is just the same even the price is increasing. Okay? Perfectly inelastic. So even the price is increasing, the quantity demanded is just the same. So that is perfectly inelastic. Now, let's move forward to the next one. So, let's have elasticity and slope. So, class, ano pala yung elasticity and slope? So, ito yung mga example ng elasticity and slope. So first, a price increase from $1 to $2 represents a 100% increase in price. Okay? So, for example, from piso to dos, nag-represent na siya og 100% increase in price because 1 divided by 1 equals 100%. So next is a price increase from $2 to $3 represent a 50% increase in price. So parehas lamang ang sila gitaas no, $1 lang ang sa first, ang sa second $1 lang pud pero ngano 50% lang ang increase in price because the original price is $2. So that's why there are just 50% increase in price. Now let's go to the next one. So a price increase from $3 to $4 represent a 3% increase in price. So kasi yung base natin is already $3, kaya ang increase niya is 33% lang. So 1 divided by 3 equals 33%. Next is a price increase from $10 to $11 represent a 10% increase in price. So 1 divided by 10 times 100 equals 10%. So even though they just have the same increase, pero kasi yung base amount niya is not the same. That's why it's decreasing. Okay, from 100%, here goes 50%, here goes 33%, here goes 10%. So notice that even though the price increases by $1 in each case, the percentage change in price becomes smaller. So when the starting value is larger. So mo small na siya kung ang ato ang starting value for a total base amount is larger. Okay? Now, let's go to the next one. So let's try to know about elasticity along linear demand curve. Okay? Elasticity along a linear demand curve. So dili gyud ang isa ka product guys is not always perfectly elastic and not always ano perfectly inelastic. So napud tay what we call elasticity along linear demand curve. So as you can see here, this is the price. This is part of elastic. This is unit elastic and the inelastic. So, di ba? Sa ko ang giingon ganina, so when we say elastic, it means when the elasticity demanded is greater than 1. Okay? So, kung greater than 1, that is elastic. When it is equal to 1, it is unit elastic. When the inelastic is, lesser than 1, it is inelastic. So, dito mo makikita ngayon si elasticity along linear demand curve. So, ganito talaga yung forma niya. Okay? Because you are going to percentage this one or you are going to solve it. So that's why here this part is elastic, this part is in unit elastic, and this part is inelastic. Now, let's go to the next one. Let's try to know about arc elasticity measure. So, paano ba natin kunin si price elasticity of demand or si arc elasticity of measure? So, ito yung formula niya, guys. So, we have price elasticity of demand. Okay? Price elasticity of demand equals change in quantity over change in M. Okay? Well, dito, this one is quantity demanded to guys ha. So dito guys is the change of price over the price given. So dito guys, like for example, yung ano natin kanina, 'di ba? So from $1 naging $2. So, dito yan siya sa price. So, ang base natin ngayon or ang change natin is $2 minus 1. So, magiging $1 to si change in price. And then, si original price natin is $1. So, that's why it says there it's 100%, right? So, dito naman is the quantity demanded, guys. So, yung change of quantity demanded and then yung original price niya or original na quantity demand niya is dito niya mo ilalagay. So, kaya makukuha mo to. So, when we say greater than 1, it is elastic. It is when it is equal than 1, si price elasticity of demand, it's unit elastic. And then if it is lesser than 1, then it means it is inelastic. Okay? So always remember that. So always remember that when we get the saan yung pang-ebura? So when we get the guys, the quantity and then the price, so we can use it something like this. So where quantity, original quantity is quantity 1 plus quantity 2 divided by 2. And then price M equals price 1 plus price 2 equal over 2. Okay? So, pareha lang kanina guys, no? So, dito, binigyan lang natin siya ng diin or binigyan lang natin siya ng process para mas maganda siyang tingnan. So, makuha nato si original price or si price M kung, like for example, it is $1 pag start, di ba? And then, yung naging $2 ang ikaduha nga price. So, divided by 2. So, mahitabo karon 3 divided by Q2. Okay? So we have 1.5. So ang ato ang price M is 1.5. So ang quantity demanded pud nato and quantity demanded or first quantity demanded, and then this one is the second quantity demanded. So let's try to have an example para mas maintindihan natin siya, guys. So suppose, guys, the quantity demanded, okay, suppose that quantity demanded falls from 60 to 40. So ang first na quantity demand nila is 60, karon ni gamay naging 40. So we also have when the price rises from $3 to $5. So basin ni gamay ang ilahang demand, ni taas ang presyo. So the arc elasticity measure is given by, meaning price elasticity of demand is equal to 60 minus 40. So ito si quantity 1 or Q1, then dito si Q2. So 60 minus 40 divided by 50 over 3 minus 5 divided by 4. So simplify ito, naging 2 over 5. So simplify ito, naging 2 over 4. And then transposition. So we have here 2 over 5 over or divided by 2 over 4. So ang answer natin ngayon is 4 over 5. So kung i-divide mo si ano, guys, si 4 divided by 5. Where's my calculator? Okay, 4 divided by 5 equals 0.8. So kung i-decimal form mo to siya, naging 0.8. So what do you think, guys? Is it elastic, unit elastic, or inelastic? So from here, di ba, less than 8 siya. So meaning, ang price elasticity of demand natin, it's inelastic. Okay? So in this interval, demand is inelastic since elasticity is lesser than 1. Okay? So now let's move forward to the next one. So elasticity and total revenue. So let's try to talk about elasticity and total revenue. So ito yung magiging din niya, formula. So total revenue, guys, is equal to price times quantity. Okay? So for example, kung nakay-negosyo, ang imuhang tanan or total revenue nimo katong presyo plus ang quantity sa imuhang product. So, what happens pala to total revenue if the price rises? So, what happens to total revenue if price rises? So, it means the greater the price, the higher is the total revenue. And then, a reduction in price will lead to an increase in total revenue when demand is elastic. And then a decrease in total revenue when demand is inelastic. Basta elastic lang siya, guys. Tumataas, tumataas. Meaning, naga-increase ang ato ang total revenue. But if our demand is inelastic, bumababa or nagsisteady lang, so it means there is a decrease in total revenue. And then an unchanged level of total revenue when demand is unit elastic. So unchanged lang siya, guys. Kung ang ato ang demand is unit elastic. Okay, just the same. So in a similar manner, an increase in price will lead to a decrease in total revenue when demand is elastic. So kung naay daghang demand, when the demand is elastic, there is a decrease in total revenue. So when an increase in total revenue, kung inelastic siya. So mao na ni siya ato ang kabaliktaran. So unsa day mahitabo kung nag-increase ang price? So una, mag-decrease ang total revenue kung ang demand kay elastic. Mag-increase din ang total revenue kung ang demand is inelastic. Okay? So when it is elastic, mag-decrease ang total revenue. When it is inelastic, mag-increase ang total revenue. Now, an unchanged level of total revenue when demand is unit elastic. So, dili po mag-change ang ato ang total revenue kung ang ato ang demand is unit elastic. Okay? So, just equal to 1. So, let's try to, okay, parang hindi ko nasali yung ano eh. So, look at your modules in page 15. So you can see here the total revenue versus the quantity. So tumataas. We also have the maximum level of total revenue dyan sa right. Sa left natin is medyo mababa pa ang ating total revenue. Now, let's go to price discrimination. So, ano bang nangyayari? Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng price discrimination? So, sometimes we have the market haggling, the mobile phone contracts tariffs, we have the taxi fares at peak times of the day, the cinema ticket prices, the hairdresser discounts, the educational bursaries. So, mawala na siya ang mga example of price discrimination in action. But actually, it is not just limited there. So, daghan kayo og nagapanghitabo sa tuang market nga there is a price discrimination. So first, different customers are charged different prices for the same product due to differences in price elasticity of demand. So kung mutaas ang demand, gahapon tag ano ra ni, tag 10 ra ang kilo, karon tag 15 na. Kay daghan naman kayo gusto mo palit. So, that's why there is a price discrimination. Second, higher prices for those customers who have the most inelastic demand. So, tanaw ni mo, panagsalaman ni mo palit ning kustumera ni, patas-an ako na iyang presyo. So, kasi usually katong nagapalit o binulto dinaghan katong mga wholesaler ay mga retailer pud to sila. While katong mga panagsala mo palit, ug kanang ginagmay lang ang ginapalit, so they are kanang consumer jud. So that's why they have more or higher prices. So we also have lower prices for those customers who have a more elastic demand. So perminti siya na ay demand ana og perminti or nagataas ang iyahang demand ana nga certain product. So syempre, it is lower prices. So just like the wholesaler, mupalit si retailer og dinaghan, kay iyahapong ibaligya. So that's why mas lower ang iyahang price. And then customers who are willing to pay the highest price are charged a high price. So kato pong mga dato nga customer na pagtan-aw dato kaayo nya taga laing nasod wa ni kailag mangga, wa ni kailag market value sa mangga. So ato ning baligyaan og tag 100 ang kilo. So there are a lot of kanang businessman ngayon na So those customers who are willing to pay the highest prices are charged a high price. So makita nila, kaya kayo ni afford kaayo, kadagan kayo gold sa lawas. So that's why they charge that customer with higher prices, which is also part of price discrimination. Next, customers who are more sensitive to price differentials are charged a low price. So, mo nitong mga customer, ako sukay mo tawad, no? Ala, gahapon imong baligya sa ko, tag G's lang niya, karon tag 20 na, nga naman eh. So, dapat tatagan ko ni mo discount. So, naadyo na nga mga customers. They are sensitive to price. Labi na og ang ilahang paliton is ilahapong i-baligya, buy and sell. So that's why most likely they are the one who will be charged a low price, which is also part of the price discrimination. Dili pantay-pantay ang imuhang presyo. Para sa uban mahal, para sa uban barato. So that is what we call price discrimination. Now let's go to the next one. So we also have determinants of price elasticity. Actually guys, there are a lot of determinants when it comes to price elasticity. Pwede mo babag pinakalit, pwede mo taas og pinakalit. So, example of this guys is ato ang income o taas ang income ani nga place. So taas ang ato. Taas-an po na to ang presyo sa atong mga product. Money spent, o kani siya kay kuan jud ni siya mo balik jud siya gin-ani or common demand jud ni sa mga tao diri. So patas-an na to ang presyo or di man ni kinahanglan sa mga tao diri. So pamuba na to ang presyo. That's why it's money spent. Next, we also have nature of commodity. So katong mga commodity or product nga kinahanglanon kaayo, sometimes it's a little bit pricey, taas ang price. So katong mga product nga dili kayo gamit or panagsalang or substitute lang siya. So most likely, lower prices. So we also have several uses of commodity. So kana siya nga commodity is ginakaon, kana siya nga commodity kay pangtambal pod. So daghan kay siya og use na commodity. That's why maybe it's getting higher or maybe it's getting lower. Labi na siya og daghan siya og kaparehas nga commodity. Ay, mupalit na lang tag mais kay mahal kaayo ang bugas nga humay. So, dili na lang sa ta sa baratuhon kay maoray makaya sa tong income. Oray makaya nato. We also have demand can be postponed or not. So, mao po ni siya ang problema, no? Sa to ang price elasticity, kay pwede po ang demand is i-postpone. Like, for example, upat kag bag-o nga sapatos. Ay, di na lang sa kumupat og bag-o sapatos. Okay, pamanday nga ako ang sapatos. Or giragaluhan manday ko. So, daghan og mga product nga pwede lang nimo i-postpone. Dili gid siya importante, dili pa ka mamatay kung dili ka mapait ana nga product. So we also have substitutes. So daghan kay mga product nga substitutes, no? Like for example, for high grade nga mga chocolate, uy mahal man kaayo so diri lang ta sa mga Filipino made na chocolate kay tag piso ra. Nana. Next we have joint demand. So mutaas po na siya kung like for example na for different companies na inibutho nga mga another company nga mao gyapon ang ilang ginabuhat nga product or mao ang mga raw material nga ilang gikinahanglan. So mag-join sila ug mutaas ang ilahang demand or maybe na-close na pud tong another nga pabrika. So na close pud ang isa so ni lower ang price. We also have range of price. So as a businessman, kailangan po din mo makamanghiring sa palibot. Uy, tag 50 naman niya ako ang bugas niya ang sa uban kay tag 45 tag 40 na lang man. Bantog ra day wala ko nahalinan. So this is the determinants or example of determinants of price elasticity. Pero dili lang ni siya limited diri guys. So price elasticity is relatively high when close substitutes are available. So parehas sa mga substitutes, kung daghang substitute nga available, so dito lang ka mopalit kay mas barato. So that's why your price can be lower. Or kung wala to sila, your price can be higher. A good or service is a large share of consumer's budget. So naka-budget na gid niya kani siya, bayad gid niya sa kuryente, bayad gid niya sa tubig. So walay mabuhat ang consumer kung dili magtipid sa uban nga butang because it is already or kato ang ilahang mga gina-priority nga mayroon nun or mga goods or service. We also have a longer time period is considered. So, labi na og kanang nakatiguman nga sa ka-product. So, most likely, dili yun na siya every month nga naidaghan mo palit og sapatos. Dili po siya everyday nga naidaghan mo palit og sapatos. So, most likely, like, siya, seasonal siya ba? Na siya peak season, kay ting bonus, na po siya, kanang ting hinay, kay dili na priority sa mga tao. So, yun siya guys. That is the determinants of price elasticity. Now, we also have the cross-price elasticity of demand. So, ito pala guys ang ating formula for cross-price elasticity of demand. So cross price elasticity of demand. So we have the percentage change in quantity demanded for good J, and then percentage change in the price of good K. So that's why the cross price elasticity of demand between two goods, uh, J and K, is defined as follows. Most likely guys, pwede ni siya nga kani si good J and si good K are a substitute product, or maybe pwede ni siya nga kani siya nga mga goods are uh, came from different market or came from different corporations. So, mo na siya ang cross-price elasticity of demand. So, dili man jud ang isa ka product is dili pwede nga dili makopy sa uban, dili pwede nga dili po siya available sa uban. So, there are no such thing as ikaw lang jud ang distributor. Maliban lang sa laing nasod and then different products too. So, and then sa ato ang cross price elasticity of demand is positive. Positive siya if and only if the goods are substitute. So, positive ang mahimong result ani guys kung si good J and good K is substitute siya. Pero mahimo siyang negative, si cross price elasticity is negative when or if and only if the goods are complements. Okay? So, complement siya, meaning kung substitute goods siya, guys, kanang kung wala ang isa, mao ni siya ang paliton sa mga tao. Kung mayon tawag complement, like kuan, kapi o creamer, kapi o gatas. So, kuan sila, kanang pwede sila isagol nga mga goods. So, naga-complement sila sa isa't isa. Na po yung mga complementary products nga. Kung wala na siya, mahimong useless ang isa. So, inana siya guys. That as also complements or complementary products. So, always remember, it becomes positive when the products are substitute. It becomes negative when the product is complements or complementary to each other. Now, let's go to the next one. So, let's have the income elasticity of demand. So, makaapekto pod si income sa elasticity of demand when the percentage change in quantity demanded for good J over percentage change in income. So, mahimo siyang a good is a normal good if income elasticity is greater than 0. So, ato ang income elasticity, it's greater than, ato income elasticity is greater than, no, where's the razor? Okay, ato income elasticity is greater than 0. It means that a good is normal. So, kani siya, this is a normal good, meaning, mao na din siya itong mga good nga kanang ginagamit siya nato or appeal sa to ang mga basic needs or appeal sa to ang mga ginapalit jud. Either naaman tay taas nga income or mubo nga income. Next is when the income elasticity here is smaller or lesser than 0. So it means kani siya nga good is what we called inferior goods. Okay, inferior goods. So meaning tungod kay natay gamay nga income, dili nato ni siya or ginapalit nato ni siya tungod kay barato lang. Inferior goods ni siya. Next is when the income elasticity is greater. Okay, greater than 1. It means this is a luxury good. Si good J is a luxury good. So meaning, mupalit lang ta ana kung natay dako nga income. Next, we also have lesser than 1. So a good is a necessary good if income elasticity is lesser than 1. So it means guys that when there is, basin pag nakay, or nakay gamay nga income, mupalit gyapon ka ana nga product, it is because it is the necessity good. So siya ang pinaka-basic or necessary, pinaka-kailangan nato nga product. We cannot live without it. So just like food, like that. So that is for income elasticity of demand. Now, let's go to the next one. So we have price elasticity of supply. So si supply pod, napod tayo price elasticity of supply. So the price elasticity of supply is a measure used in economics to show the responsiveness or elasticity of the quantity supplied of a good or service to a change in its price. Okay? So, di ba ganina, inanin po na nga to ang formula for price elasticity of demand. Pero, ang na-change lang guys is, imbis na quantity demanded ni, naging quantity supplied. So, this is also known as price elasticity of supply. So, mo ni siya iyahang formula. Now, let's go to the next one. So, we also have perfectly inelastic supply. So, mo ni siya ang perfectly inelastic supply. Diba? Inani man po ito itong perfectly inelastic demand. So, the same lang ang demand when the price is going high. So, dire, when the price is even going high, same lang yapon ang ato ang quantity supplied. So, our product is perfectly inelastic supply. So, dili mo daghan, dili pud mo gamay, inana lang gid siya basin pag mutaas ang price. Now, let's go to the next one. So we also have the perfectly elastic supply. So if supply is perfectly elastic class, it means that any change in price will result to an infinite amount in quantity. So perfect inelastic demand means that quantity demanded will increase to infinity when the price decreases, and the quantity demanded will decrease to zero when the price increases. So, mo decrease pod no? To ang quantity demanded, mutaas siya kung mo baba ang presyo. Pero kung mutaas ang presyo, mo decrease pod to zero. Hantod ma-zero siya. So, now let's go to determinants of supply elasticity. So nga naman naamay kanang determinants of supply elasticity. So meaning mao ni siya ang mga mahitabo kung ngano makaingon ta nga kana siya nga supply is elastic, kana siya nga supply is inelastic. So first guys is short run. So it means period of time in which capital is fixed. So meaning na jud siya time nga ang kana siya nga business is we just have a limited capital. So meaning kung naay limited capital, kung unsa ang ilang ma-produce, maulang gina siya balik-balik, balik-balik. So when there are 100 goods na ma-produce ana nga capital, so in the short run, the next month mao gyapon na siya. The next month mao gyapon na siya. Maliban lang kung mutaas ang iyahang capital. So meaning, kung dili mo taas ang capital, dili pud mo taas ang production. So that's why it is included in short run. So all inputs are variable in the long run. So sa long run pod, napoy lahi-lahi nga variable. So labi na kung manufacturing ang imuhang business, it means that kung naa kay daghang raw materials, you can supply o makasupply kag daghan in the long run. And then, kung nihit na pud ang imuhang raw materials, in the long run, magkagamay ang imuhang supply. So, magdepende siya, guys. We also have supply will be more elastic in the long run than in the short run. So, more elastic siya kung sa long run ta kaysa sa short run. Kasi the same lang ato ang produce, kasi the same lang or fix lang ato ang capital. Since firms can expand or contract their capital in the long run. Now let's go to tax incidents. So look at the picture. So there are a lot of tax incidents. So kuha lang ni siya, isa lang ni siya sa mga Example, I think I'd rather have the short form. That is the short form. So most likely guys, kung isa nakatrabaho direk mga bookkeeping establishment, so maybe mas maintindihan ni ninyo if ever mag-accounting mo or ano, matrabaho mo sa mga bookkeeping mga kuan mga establishment. So most likely, guys, in tax incidents, we have distribution of the burden of tax depends on the elasticities of demand and supply. So mao po ni siya ang problema, guys, no? Kasi mao na ang pobre mo sa mato ka pobre kay ang tax dito pod patong sa consumer. Kasi ang tax gani nagadepende na siya sa elasticities of demand and supply. So, syempre, kung taas ang demand, so dito yun nato ipatong ato ang tax sa mga consumer. So when supply is more elastic than demand, consumers bear a larger share of the tax burden. So mo na siya ang problema, guys. Sa mutog kapobre ang mga consumer, it is because we are also burdened by tax. So when supply is more elastic than demand, consumers bear a larger share of the tax burden. So taas ang atoang burden sa tax kung elastic ang demand. So producers bear a large share of burden of tax when demand is more elastic than supply. Okay? So ang may tampo pod si producer pod or ang kumpanya nga nagaproduce ana nga goods ang naay dako nga burden of tax when demand is more elastic than supply. So kung demand mas more elastic siya kaysa sa supply, syempre mas dako og share si producer or the company that is making that certain goods. Okay? So that's why there is a lot of kanang causes sa tax incidents. So maybe ang pobre mo sa mutog ka pobre or ang kumpanya mo sa mutog ka dato or ang kumpanya tama-tama lang kay ginaburden nila ang tax. Inana siya, guys. So, I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today, my dear traditions. So this is very important and very relevant in your ano in your journey if you want to be a business course student in the future or maybe accounting student. So this is very important. This is one of your topics, economics, when you go into business courses, guys. So I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today. So today we have learned about elasticity of demand and supply. So try to review your lesson, or you can watch the video again or the pre-recorded video discussion to know more about this topic. Or kung wala mo kasabot, balik ko na to og tanaw. Okay? So, have a great day, traditions, and always remember to do your best in every lessons. Have a great day, and see you again. Let's go now to your assessments, and always remember to make your parents proud. See you. Bye.